My hero.
It's a lot of fun for Jamie to watch Beth with cuffs. That's a little win, her needing his legal expertise. It's always great working with Kelly. We've had since day one a great connection and chemistry. You're welcome.
Now I gotta pick up trash on the highway in all my fucking free time.
The relationship between Beth and Jamie is so complicated, it is so fraught.
Underneath, there's just so much pain.
Obviously a very striking moment when Beth comes out the jail and she notices the car seats.
What the fuck is that? Do you have a child, Jamie?
It's a huge moment between them because of the history.
God gave you a boy?
That is the crevice between them.
The fact that he says sorry to her makes her even madder.
Taking you to that clinic is the greatest regret of my life.
You know, I think he feels bad. That might have been the last moment they could maybe try to find healing. And obviously she's not ready. And she just loses it.
I'm gonna take him from you. The threat is just out of pain. It's like bile. Next time you see him, you can kiss him goodbye because he's as good as gone. She hates him, and I think to live with that level of hatred must be really unbearable.
She threatens Jamie's child, and then we see where Jamie's at and that he considers maybe taking her out right then and there. That means he might be ready to take her out, period.
The loss of a child forever changes your family. She's navigating how to survive on a daily basis and be there for her husband and her son. To have this funeral and ceremony, it was so beautiful and so moving.
That's a gut punch of a moment.
It's so much on the mother, but also Casey's going through his own grief and trying to be strong. Oh, it's hard.
This is another instance where we get to share the philosophy of the way Native people see transitioning over.
I'm always blown away by Mo Brings Plenty, who's not only in our show, but he's the advisor of Native American Affairs.
To try to bring an understanding of how we see it from a traditional perspective is very important.
He really cares about making it authentic.
It was such a necessary part of healing for all of them. Oh, it's funny, I told Taylor, I read that scene with John and Monica on a plane, and we just started bawling.
They are different, which is obvious and it's important, but the graveyard is filled with family, and that child was family.
That boy lived a perfect life, Monica. We're the only ones who know it was brief. All they knew was you, that you loved him.
For better or for worse, she has now had an experience that allows her to understand a side of his grief that she's never been able to understand before. And it's beautiful.
Thank you.
When it comes to family, that's really their common ground. And I think in that moment, she feels permission to not only to grieve, but also to live her life again.
It is a bridge that gives you hope that relationship could go to a different place that we have not seen.
Rainwater says this isn't the place or time, but we do need to talk.
About what?
About the 300 jobs you eliminated. Because that's basically pulling out the entire revenue source.
Should meet me on the reservation.
A lot of very unhappy people.
I can do that.
It's always jobs, it's always land. Most of the time, the land loses. He is aware of how he's doing. He's not a stupid man. Sometimes what seems foolish in a political career is he doesn't care.
I stepped on a few landmines, it appears.
Already? The people voted for him, and so he has to show up for the people in all kinds of different ways. He's starting to understand that there has to be some give and take.
All I do is go to middle schools and ribbon cuttings.
There's an interesting dynamic where I think that she can get to him when it comes to the political stuff.
You need to get an environmental advisor, an environmentalist, someone who understands the way that they think so they can explain to you what the hell it is they're thinking.
John has interesting allies that at some points they have direct conflict and sometimes they're allies.
When John comes and picks me up at the prison, you know, it's kind of an uneven playing field as it is.
Well, there's a catch. It's a supervised release for 6 months.
And now he's the governor of Montana, so I don't think Summer really trusts it at the beginning.
Where am I staying?
At the ranch.
Oh, great, with your bipolar sociopathic daughter?
It's a fine line. If I'm going to have an interest in someone and Beth is in the position of insulting her, I'm not sure that works.
The worst part of getting to the ranch is that Beth is here. And I was hoping that she and Rip would be long gone by now, but they've only settled in more permanently.
Unfortunately, there seems to be a lack of communication between the family. Beth isn't told that Summer is being moved in by her father.
And to think of all the hard work I did to put you in prison.
And think of all the hard work I'm doing to stay out.
Sometimes I think Taylor's just having fun with all these characters, you know, just setting them up to react in ways.
I'll pick you up some doxycycline when I'm in town.
Thanks. Could you also give me a toothbrush?
To see Beth react to Summer in her kitchen, there's a lightheartedness to it, but there's also a side to it that's quite serious for Beth because she really does believe that she's an enemy.
I am not starting this day sober.